Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Let's go, Keith says. So here we are. Keith said, let's start, and we're going to start. So Mary and I are joined tonight with good friend Jason Luck from Luck's Garage. I'm going to just have Jason introduce himself in a minute. But before that, I just want to talk a little bit about our community. And really, this is a great example of how community works. Now, less than a year ago, I had met Jason for the first time. I had met Mary for the first time at that same place in Crossville. And it seems like we've been buddies for like years, right? Wouldn't you say the same thing,
Yeah.
Mary? It's hard to believe it's less than a year. And the community does that. It's just that really, you meet people that we kind of knew each other casually, through the live streams and whatever. But once you really, get an eye on somebody and you get to break bread and just hang out and go thrifting, it's relationships that just continue straight through. So without any further ado, I want to introduce Jason Luck. How you doing, Jason? Thanks for coming.
I'm doing good. Thank you. Glad to be here.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Jason, for those in the chat who might not be familiar with you?
Well, I'm Jason Luck. I have a YouTube channel, Luck's Garage, and it's mostly around, when I first started it, it was more about the reselling aspect. And then I go around to different flea markets, yard sales, and the Hot Wheel and toy shows. And I collect Hot Wheels toys, and then I've collected all my life. And then I retired I guess I was 44, about 2.5 years ago. I retired. And so slowly I'm trying to go through my collection that I've collected the last 30 years and decide what I want to keep, decide what I want to sell, and slowly started. I've been on eBay for about 20, I think it was 23 years now. And I've mostly put stuff on there. And then, of course, Facebook groups and stuff like that to slowly sell off some of the collection. But I also collect signs, and I've got like record albums. I've collected all kinds of stuff over the years. If I thought it was cool, I bought it. Got a 40 by 60 shop full of stuff that I bought over the last 30 years or so, and that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm just slowly trying to go through it and decide what I want to keep, decide what I want to sell. So.
Now, cool. we do like to start out where people can find you. We're going to get on, have you tell us at the end also, but we do like to tell.
You can go to YouTube. I'm on Luck's Garage on YouTube, and you'll see this emblem here. And I've been on there for about a year and a half, a little over, and I just now clicked I think 2,700 subscribers, which is pretty good.
Nice. Yeah, doing well.
I've added about 200 this last month, which is awesome. So it's really starting to move and grow a little bit. So if you're into toys and that collectibles, Hot Wheels, it's definitely something you might want to check out.
Yeah, it really is. It's a great, it's a great show. It's specific, it's not a general information kind of situation, but this man that you're looking at right now, as I've said in the description, is just a wealth of knowledge, wealth of information. Like I said, we were lucky enough to hook up with Jason at the 127 last year, and he was a great host. He split himself. I thought was cool. He split himself up with all of us. He spent like a couple hours giving us all personal attention and showing us around the different tent cities, because this man knows everybody. I mean, every booth that we went to, hey Jason, hey Joe, how are you? You see Richie, and it was great. So we had like a little bit of an inside track, and the stuff that he knows is just like it really is overwhelming. And I'll tell you another funny story. He said, "Look, I'm here for you guys. I'm not really here to pick." Right? Remember saying this, Jason? He said, "I'm not here to pick. I want you guys. I do this every year. I come out the whole week every year, and I know everybody and this and that. I'm not really here to pick. I'm here really to serve you guys." And it was true. It really was very true. He was very accommodating for all of us. And he says, "Look, I'm gonna like suggest things, and this is a good buy and whatever, and I hope you buy it. But if you don't, I'm going to scoop it up. But only if you don't, I will." Well, he did a haul video. He filled up the back of his truck with stuff, and it was amazing the stuff that he found. It was really, really very funny.
A lot of people did have a few people like you, Mike, and didn't drive, so they couldn't pick up some of the bigger items. But there was a lot of times that I'm like, you know what, guys, if you don't want to buy it, I'll take it. But I'd rather them pick it up because a lot of the bulk stuff, bulk buys, I call them bulk buys, the same thing, stacks of the same thing. That's easy. One list, multiple listing stuff. That's the kind of stuff that's bread and butter for I think a lot of people that does the eBay. And not 100% sure where most of the audience goes here if they do eBay Posh. I know you do a lot of Posh and that stuff. So, but I do a lot of vintage clothing too. So I probably should go over there in that, but I've never done it. I've always sold on eBay for the vintage clothes too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. Now what got you? Oh, go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just going to say, let's catch up with the chat. We got 13 people in here already, so let's say hi to everybody. First is my friend Keith from across the pond. He only came 13 hours early today from England, and he's always first in the chat, so I appreciate Keith coming by, and he still first. He told me he asked me to wake him up when it was time for the show to start, and I did. I said you can sleep another hour. That was an hour ago. So welcome in, Keith. And then Chris, Easy Pickens, is in the house. Thanks for coming. And Rebecca Luck, thanks for coming. Jason's fan club, right?
Yeah.
And Andrew Goodwater Pickers.
What's up, Andrew?
Aaron, how are you? Good to see you. And Wendy's Wanderings, Books and More. I don't know you, Wendy, but welcome into the chat. I hope to get you know a little bit. Welcome. And by the way, Wendy and anyone else in the chat, if you have any questions for Jason or for us, just put it in the chat. I try to really stay close to the chat. Welcome everyone in, and accommodate any of your comments or any of your questions, because basically this is the reason for why we do this. I don't know if I spoke about it yet, but basically our intent, Mary and I's intent, is to have a channel that focuses on meetups. And we give pretty good coverage when the meetups are happening. But they kind of ran out a couple of months ago, but they picked up again. We'll talk about that in a minute. But they ran out, and I was like, okay, Mary, what do we do now until the next meetup, until we create the next meetup? And she came up with this idea of like, why don't we just feature other YouTubers who have live shows? Because I always say there's nothing like a live show. I really prefer the live podcast over the pre-record because it's an extra element of community. It gives the people at home the opportunity to be part of it. In fact, even at the meetups, I like a live because that's a meetup within a meetup. It's like my favorite thing to do, to have a live stream at the meetup, so that right at the site, right where we're having it. So all the people who might have didn't have the opportunity to come to the meetup, now through the interactive chat has an opportunity to kind of feel like they're part of it. They're not really there, but you're there in spirit, and also you have a voice. So everyone is certainly welcome to come. Let's see who else is here. Jefferson.
Hey, Jefferson.
What's up, Jefferson?
And Derek W. Pat. Hi, guys. How are you? Nice. Thanks for coming. And then Truth Be Told.
Hey, Aurora. It's my daughter.
I don't recognize that name.
She's on her husband's account.
Welcome in. And we have Rosie. Hi, Rosie. Thanks for coming. Good to see you. And David Luck. Is that another relative?
My dad.
Oh, your dad? Hi, Dad. How are you? And Cape Cod Ken, my new friend who I met through another meetup. This great. This community is so great. I mean, I was at a meetup with that Vicky and Trish Glenn did cross the country with Kate, with Vicky and Trish, and they bought a bunch of stock from Boston and got a big truck and traveled it across the country to Vegas where they live. And they had like 10 meetups along the way. So I went to the first one, which was in Boston, and I met Ken. And now we're buds, just like that. I met him for like an hour. We had dinner together at the meetup, and we're gonna like meet up again in Vegas, I believe, for the eBay Open, and we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. So I'm in my glory. I mean, I really this is the thing for me. You know, I think I got into reselling more for the community than for the reselling, because I do it like as a hobby, pretty much. I really love it. I don't do it for the money. I'm retired, and I'm pretty much set financially. But I did it for the community because I just love it, and I love the meetups. So when it came the opportunity to have a channel, a meetup channel, well, I could just throw eBay to the curb. Not really. Although I don't, I still love doing it. But this is really satisfying my fix for the people. Vegas bound. Yep, that's what Ken says. All right, the chat is caught up. So why don't we go back to speaking with our great guest, Jason?
Yeah. I just in case my grandsons are watching, since my daughter's in there, I want to say hi to Thomas and Elijah. Sorry.
Hi, Thomas, Elijah. How are you?
I want to know what sparked your love of Hot Wheels and collectible cars in general. Were you a NASCAR fan, or I know that's not the only cars.
Well, I kind of played with Hot Wheels. There was He-Man and Hot Wheels was my toys when I was growing up, and probably played with them till you're like 12. You know how it goes. It's like 12, you kind of lose interest.
Yeah.
Then when I turned 17, I was walking through Walmart and I seen a Sportsman scooter sitting there on the peg, and I was like, well, I like motorcycles, so I picked it up, and then I realized, hey, there's 12 of this in a set, so I started buying the sets, and then it was just I've been into cars, motorcycles, boats, whatever, since I was growing up. My dad was into them, I was into them, and it's like with Hot Wheels, it's the only way you can kind of have every vehicle that you ever wanted.
Yeah,
you have the miniature form, obviously. I've got real cars too, but it's it's fun to have, or to me, it is fun to have different cars that you've always wanted. So it kind of like one of those things. It's like when I start collecting something, I kind of dive all the way in. I don't really slowly go in. It's just like that's how come you get as much knowledge as you do. If you start collecting something, you'll start trying to find out all the information, read all the books, that kind of thing. So whenever I go to one collectible, I used to go to another collecting, but Hot Wheels has always been one that I've been on since I was 17. So that's the one that I've tried to go to all the nationals, try to get all the information, talk to the designers, talk to the engineers, whoever I can, just to find out that information. So.
Yeah.
Now, I heard this on your live last night, but tell us about how many you have, and then what led you to start actually reselling or selling.
Well, in 2008, I'm not 100% sure the exact number, but in 2008, we were guesstimating about 80,000 cars.
Wow.
And now, I don't know, probably 35,000 is what I have now, I would say. That's not I can't say accurately. It's kind of hard to actually count them, but at that time I had a 24 by 36 shop, a 20 by 20 shop, and I had a two bedroom house. One of the bedrooms and a half was full. You can ask my wife about that one too. But literally, I had them everywhere you couldn't move, and it was like I had over 3,000 cars for just 1 year because I collected every car. Because I was in 2008, I was only 16 cars to have every car made, and that was a huge feat then. And then I realized that I've run out of room, and I'm running out of just, so I just started. I sold a lot in bulk over the few years there. Whenever we moved to this house we're in now, I sold a lot, and then now I'm just slowly. I still got I got that 40 by 60 garage up there that's still full of all my collectibles and Hot Wheels that I'm still trying to go through. So I don't know the exact number, but I'd say anywhere between 30 and 35,000 left.
And you remember every one of them, right? You know them all.
Probably.
Yes.
Do you sell anything besides cars?
Oh yeah, I sell everything. I do antiques, collectibles, toys. I love buying and I collect the toys, but then you get tired of them. You'll trade them around, whatever. Vinyl records. I haven't started selling those yet. I do have about 3,000. I need to start selling of those, but I haven't had a chance to get the mailers and stuff. I kind of worry about them shipping them, breaking and stuff. So I haven't even tried to start selling those yet, but a lot of signs. I collect the porcelain signs and old vintage metal signs, gas and oil, and um, sodas and stuff. I've been doing that for about 25 years, so I've probably got a couple thousand up in the shop there of those. And it's just one of those things. Like I said, I start collecting something and I go in it, and then I hunt it. So
Yeah, I was saying before, you know how amazing you are, what a wealth of information. Now, clearly, you are like the expert on the Hot Wheels cars, but the wealth of information doesn't stop there. I mean, you feature some stuff on your show every now and then, and again, when I had the privilege of picking with you, and you would grab some of the stuff, I had no clue, no idea what it even was, but yet you knew all of the details and the value of it and everything. You're really one of the better pickers, I must say, that I've ever been able to be able to hang out with and watch. It was so much fun just watching you work. I mean, just like, just amazing. It's like when you really know, when you have a good eye for things, you're obviously gonna find stuff. You
yeah,
pulled stuff out of that 127. That was just amazing.
find it if you're looking for it, you'll find it.
Yeah.
I mean, and the biggest thing is I tell everybody. I mean, you don't have to look everything up on your phone. Just if you've not ever seen it before and you think it's cool, somebody else thinks it's cool too.
Yeah, sure.
And if it's at a price that you feel like you're comfortable with, you've bought and resold enough stuff that you know that there's no doubt I can at least get my money back and I can enjoy it for a little while. So, but anyway, that's kind of the way I pick. I kind of pick a little different. But if I do pick to resale, I've got to have at least 3 times my money, or I'm not probably going to pick it up.
Yeah.
This is something personally for myself. So,
just want to welcome Grand Swamp Picker into the meetup. Thanks for coming by, brother.
Well, tell us about your Tuesday night live and how that came to be.
Well, I do a Tuesday night live every Tuesday at 8 Central Standard Time, and basically, my dad was like, "You need to do a live." I do with doing the YouTube. It takes probably 60 hours to do one of my videos now, because all of them are usually an hour long plus lately. And then and a live is just an opportunity to connect more with your audience and people that are interested in the same stuff you are. And I go to a lot of diecast shows, toy shows. I get to talk to people there, but then it also gives me an outlet because they'll dry up. Like next 2 weekends, I don't have a outlet for a Hot Wheels show, so it gives me an outlet to get to talk about Hot Wheels and enjoy that without having to bore my wife to death because she could care less about. She's seen and done enough Hot Wheels for 2 lifetimes. So,
let me just interrupt you for 1 minute,
yeah.
Jason. I mean, this is my point. This is definitely my point about how these lives are so beneficial. First of all, they're much easier to put together than the pre-recorded, no doubt. You put it on, it's a lot of fun. You got the people chatting back and forth. It's a party, and then you close the lights, and that's it. But the manifestations of these lives, and how it creates that community. Now, you have a very specific community, that you cater to on your live. It's the guys and gals who are into the collectibles, the Hot Wheels and things that you do, and you get to interface with them. You had that one about a month ago or so. You did like a remote from the national convention. Now right now I'm sure from the hotel room where that was very interesting. I loved watching that, and like I'm sure by having your live stream, it was able to facilitate making those connections and informing people you're going to be there, and then you kind of like you hang out after the fact, and before you go, what's going on, and really these live streams really create and maintain the community that you want to be part of. So I just want to make that point.
Yeah, we've got a challenge going on right now on mine that everybody seems to be liking. It's the Beat 16 challenge we've been working on. I've got the original first 16 Hot Wheels that come out in 1968. The challenge is to get all 16 of them for less than $100, which is pretty rare these days because Redlines is like, for resellers, it seems like if it doesn't have Redline tires, people don't really think there's any value there. But realistically, there's a lot. But you got to kind of do some studying. And I understand it's hard to take on something new to try to learn something down that far to know exactly what's worth what. But red lines is one of those things that's calling up in value, keep going up in value, keep going up. So what we're doing is we're putting together all the first 16 cars made. We're trying to do it for $100. Once we get finished, and then when I do my live, I'm going to give it away to one of the guys or girls that comes to watch the show. I think that'll be kind of fun for them, and they get to interact. I've actually got gifted the actual box. I've had people sending me stuff for that, and other eras and stuff like that, which is awesome. Like I said, it's the community. They just want to be a part of something that's more people all over the United States and the world, for that matter. I've got some people in Scotland. I got a lot of people from Canada and UK that comes in too. And when they get a chance, because Scotland, I think he's got to get up at like 1 o'clock in the morning to come check it out. So that's kind of fun, all that stuff, So.
Yep.
Now, which in-person meetups have you been to? No, I'm echoing. Sorry, you guys, we definitely know that there's an echo here and there, but we're just not sure what to do because we've got everything turned off. So sorry if we echo every now and then.
I went to the 127, which was the first meetup that I had ever went to as far as the reseller things. Now, as far as Hot Wheel meetups, I've been doing those for 20 plus years. I go to the nationals. And I try to go to California whenever I get a chance. And because you only get to see some of those people once a year, and it's just, time to catch up. And it's the same thing with the reseller meetups. You know these people, you get to, message them. But the interaction, whenever you physically get to be there in person and get to meet them, instead of just over the little text and over the, phone, it's a little different when you can be face to face. And then I didn't get a chance to go to the meetup, but I did meet up with y'all at the Nashville for one day because I was coming back from a national. So
it was very nice you did that. Yeah, we got to see you.
I was glad to get to see both of y'all there.
Yeah.
And that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, we had that. We were all at the Nashville meetup, and that was a great meetup, and couldn't have been better. But like the icing on the cake was after it was over, we got a call separately from Jason saying that he was going to come by and spend a little time, and also Brad, Black Sheep Society, also came, and we hung out at Alex's house for about 4 or 5 hours after the meetup, and that was just it was a bonus meetup. It was so great, and that's the whole thing about these meetups. I mean, it doesn't have to be all the hoopla or anything fancy or any special locations or whatever. Put us together in the basement or put us together at a restaurant. Let us go picking together, go into garage sales, and we're having a good old time. Definitely. Yeah, Glenn was there.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just trying to read the chat, and
he said he had some red lines too.
Yeah, he did. I just, while we have everyone here, let's do a quick little commercial, Mary. I mean, you're a meetup channel, so I want to mention a couple of meetups that are coming up. The locker room guys, who we all, it was really Ben. I got to give credit to Ben. He's like kind of like the ringleader of the reseller locker room, and he put the, put like the little Airbnb thing together that we all stayed at, and we all met, and we all came like really, really close as a result of that, spending that weekend of that week together. Both at the meetup and the 127 meetup, and also at the Airbnb, because we were hanging out like every day after the activities. We convened back at the locker room hangout, the Airbnb, and we had a good time. So I've Mary and I have gotten very close with the locker room guys. I'm the ambassador, and Mary is the ambassadoress of the locker room. So they had sponsored a portion of the last two meetups that we were at. The first one was the Picking the Plains,
Picking the Plateau
with Caleb and Josh, and they did like a they did the that was bowling. They sponsored a little bowling tournament. We got together. In fact, that's where we all met. That's where I first laid eyes on Mary and her son Joe, was at the bowling alley. So they sponsored that. So they had like the little taste of of sponsoring an event. And then at the Nashville meetup, the Locker Room guys sponsored the game terminal event, which was great. It was a place, big retro arcade with old pinballs and everything, a nice outside area, and it was really, really nice. And it was well received, and we had a good time. So I think that on the heels of two really good successes of being like an assist to two other meetups, they decided to roll one of their own. So right now, and Mary and I have been working close with them, and we're in the process now of setting up a meetup in East Tennessee, and the dates are September 26th, 27th, and 28th in Greenville, Tennessee. And if you're interested in finding out some details or signing up, you can go to the Reseller Locker Room Facebook page or our Facebook page and check it out, get some of the details, and register. It's a free event, and we're putting together some nice activities for everyone, including thrifting and whatever, and meeting up, and some other external activities. And we do ask that even though it's a free event, that you register just so that we get a head count, and it's a very easy sign-up sheet on the page. And there also is an opportunity for sponsoring. Now, it's a free event. No one is required, of course, to sponsor, but if someone wanted to support financially, we have like individual sponsor levels and anchor sponsor levels. So that all that information is also on the Facebook pages. Mary, did I forget anything? You want to add anything to that?
Yep. Yeah, you're right. It's the Resellers Locker Room Podcast Facebook group. It's just, you probably find it, but it's an actual group. And then our Mike Metco meetups is an actual page. So so just depending if you're looking for something specific, at least the difference between those. But yeah, all the information, the event is under the event tab. There's different tabs on the top, so you can find, if you just go to the event tab in the Resellers Locker Room Podcast group, then you'll find the event, and in the event you have the links to the sponsorship form and the registration form, as well as all the activities that have been put together so far. Hey, Ken.
Just a couple of late entries. We got Craig Lanchard Picker just came in, and Ken SSK Promo. Better late than never, Ken. We're glad to see you. Welcome into the chat. And as I told the earlier participants, anyone have any particular questions for Jason or for us or for anything meetup wise, by all means, just put them in the chat and we will accommodate whatever you have of interest, if anything else to say. All right, so that's the nutshell on the East Tennessee meetup, but there is another one coming up, which I'm sponsoring myself. It's not going to be a big elaborate meetup. It's going to kind of be more informal. The eBay Open this year is August 12th, 13th, and 14th, which I will be attending. And so I said, while I'm in Vegas, why not make a meetup? So I'm in the process right now of putting some details together. At this point, I know that it's going to be Friday, the day after the eBay Open. We're going to just get together at a restaurant, possibly the Cornish. Patsy, I had a meetup, another informal one in Vegas last year in October, and it was at that location. It worked, and it went pretty well. Basically, that meetup was just getting together, 15 of us at a restaurant. We hung out, and that's enough. I mean, that's really just to get together with people that you know or people you like to meet. We had a lot of fun. This year, I want to expand it a little bit more. It will be dinner Friday night. We're going to organize some thrifting opportunities, maybe Friday during the day, Saturday during the day. And I am in communication with my favorite Vegas tour guide expert, Vicky. Vicky's from Katie and Vicky, who have been the host for the Boss Reseller Remix for the last 4 years, and they really know Vegas. So I imposed on Vicky to give me a suggestion for some kind of activity, a non-reseller related activity, something fun. that we can incorporate maybe Saturday night. So more details to follow. It's really in its rough stages right now, but definitely if you are in Vegas for the eBay Open, or if you want to just come out there and hang out, that would be like the second week in August, and we'll I promise we'll have we'll make a good time for everyone. So that's it for these paid advertisement section of the live.
And Chris Nutter is putting together one in Vermont in August. Jack's Treasures just started a monthly supper club. So I believe please go to my page or Jack Treasure's page, or my page, our page. I run Instagram, so sorry, that was so just go to those pages. But that their first supper is next week, and that's in Dallas, Georgia. So there's all kinds of stuff going on. So just go to our page, either Facebook or Instagram, and you can find out more. And you can always feel free to message us for sure.
Yeah. Rosie makes a point that she won't be able to attend the Open because she has to work, but she lives in Vegas. So, and maybe I didn't make that point clear. You don't have to attend the eBay Open to come to the meetup. I mean, I personally have about 15 very close friends in Vegas that I've met, through the reselling community. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of them, whether they're at the eBay Open or not. It's not a requirement. The eBay Open is not everyone's cup of tea. A lot of people don't even sell on eBay. And again, all this meetup and the Tennessee meetup and all the meetups, for that matter, are never restricted to a particular platform. I mean, there's a lot of whatnot people. I was talking to through the chat in Ken's live stream today about how there's a big whatnot presence, and people that aren't even on YouTube or don't even know anything about eBay, but they're sellers also. They're part of our family. They're part of our community, and they are definitely welcome to come as well. Oh, and just another little pitch for something that's really tentative. We were talking about it today, and I've been talking about it to Mary offline prior to this. We really want to try to put something together in the Ohio area. So look forward to that, to seeing that coming. We don't have dates. We don't have any venues or whatever yet, but I'm the type of person, if I had my druthers, we'd have a meetup in every major city in the country before I'm done with it. So we're going to try. We're going to bring it to bring the meetups to the people. So if there's ever any interest, and another aspect of our channel is that if anyone has any interest or any questions, or wants to make a suggestion about a meetup, get in touch with us. We can put it together. We certainly will.
Yeah, right, Andrew. I live here and I still haven't met him. So Jason, you are one of the sponsors to the East Tennessee Reseller Meetup, so we definitely appreciate that. And you're also going to attend. What would entice somebody to A, attend, or B, sponsor? Either way, a meetup, just in general. Like, what do you get out of it?
Yeah, well, to attend, it's just a matter of getting to meet the people face to face that you may have got the chance to talk to or interact with these type of lives where you can actually get on your computer and see them. But I mean, the face to face time is a little bit different, more personal, and you can talk about other things besides just reselling. Because I know you got to get that out of you'll get that out of your system, because you may not have somebody that you can sit and talk reselling with all day. But then after you've got that exhausted, then you get to more personal relationships and what other things they're into and what they like to do. And then you may have the same type interest and, that kind of thing. Plus, like you said, it's the community thing of it, is that some people don't have a lot of people that they can talk to about the reselling, because a lot of people don't look at it like, oh, well, is that really a job that you should be doing or something, not a 9-to-5 type deal? Because whenever you're reselling, you probably work 80 hours a week, or at least I do. So I know a lot of people probably do. If you do YouTube and resell, you don't sleep. That's kind of the way I am. 3 to 4 hours a night's pretty much it for me. So I can understand that. It's so that I think going to the meetups, just getting to know people a little bit more personal, and you get to kind of, I guess, let your hair down and, interact with people a little bit more, I guess, and get to know them. I said I got to meet y'all guys at the 127. We had a great time. We went to, we went bowling and we hung out afterwards at the after parties or whatever you want to call them. Just hanging out, having a good time, talking about all the different stuff throughout our aspects in our life, other things that we collect, other things that we do outside of just reselling. So
It
that's
feels, feels a little bit of a void. I mean, we have a very interesting, you know, career here in reselling. It's great. I love it. Most of the people, I mean, you kind of have to love it if you're going to get involved in it. So I think everyone will agree with me that it's something that we love. But there is a little bit, it's unique in that you don't have a water cooler. You don't have you can be working and listing all day long, and you could really maybe burn out. You don't realize you're working 12, 15 hours. No one's going to walk, by your desk and start up a little conversation and break in the action at all. That's not going to happen. I mean, we're pretty much on an island, when we're at home, doing our thing. But these meetups or even the live streams give us an opportunity to hang out and talk, and it's really very therapeutic. I mean, I was watching Ryan did this great show, Ryan Galaxy CDs, on relieving stress, and it was a great episode. I recommend checking it out, and the ways to kind of relieve stress. And he made some good points about how it's a stressful kind of career that we're involved in, but there's ways to get around it by integrating into other people, and we have to go out. The people aren't going to come to us. We have to go out and make an active participation in meeting them. So it really helps.
Now, as far as
just before we move on, I had put Keith's comment on the screen tonight. Remember, I want to give Keith equal time on the meetup front. I mean, Keith is from the UK, and I promised him that we could probably work out something to bring the meetups international, and I'd love to go and visit with Keith and have a little meetup there. So let's figure that one out, Keith. Let's get back to me. We'll see what we can do.
Now, as far as the sponsorship part of your question, I believe that a lot of people don't realize how much work it takes. You're going to have to, if you end up buying swag bags of some type to give away, you've got to print out a lot of papers. It's going to cost money, ink, time. Not just saying time, but in general, there's a lot of different costs that one printing will cost you $20, or whatever. If you start printing out lots of papers and flyers, or time you do all the different, if you're doing the banner, of course, that's going to cost quite a bit. That's why I think the price on the sponsoring on the individual sponsors is really, both price points are really great, but being able to at least, contribute $20, and it's a free meetup anyway. So even though it's free, it's not free for the people putting it on. So that's kind of the way. I know you had said, why would you sponsor? I know what it takes to put on. I used to put on a Hot Wheels show, and it takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, and it takes money behind the scenes that a lot of people don't think. Well, hey, it don't cost a lot to do this. Well, by the time you buy print ink and the papers and swag bags and yada yada yada, there's more stuff down the line. You know how it goes. So anyway, that's why I believe that's why I wanted to sponsor. Also, that I'm pretty close with those guys, obviously. Also, so I try to help them out whenever I can. If they ask, I would help. So
appreciate it.
Yeah, that's really gracious. Can you tell us, about the Hot Wheels shows you used to put together? I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it's been years and years. Actually, my wife and me both was running them. I had it was the grill and chills, what we called it, and we would grill out, and we'd have people once a year. I'd come out to a community center that we would rent out, and I'd have the tables would be $5 a piece for people because I could get the place cheap enough, and we would just hang out for the day. But that was back whenever I was the vice president of the Hot Wheels Club that we had here, and then it was just a lot. And then where I live, a lot of people don't want to drive, an hour and a half out. I'm kind of out away from everything, so a lot of people kind of quit. What am I trying to say? They don't want to drive as far, that kind of thing. Because I was trying to bring a show closer to the people around here that don't really get the chance to go out a lot.
Wow.
Now, fast forward, this was probably, well, my wife probably knows better, but this was probably 15 to 18 years ago now. So, I mean, it's been a long time. Maybe not that long. But no, it's probably been that long. And now it's like now there's shows almost every weekend within an hour to 2 hours, it seems like, especially this time of year. So that's why it kind of slowed down. Plus, when I started the Leaf project for Nissan, I had to go to Japan for almost 6 months.
Wow.
And that kind of just like I had to, give up my, basically give up the Hot Wheels um, group, whatever you want to call it. I was the vice president over just because I was going to be out. And unfortunately, at the same time, the president, and we both worked at Nissan, we both went to Japan at the same time. So that's kind of why it didn't really, it kind of slowed down and it kind of dissolved because we couldn't be there for for like 6 months or so. So it was, it is what it is. If you don't keep somebody on top of something, it just kind of dies down and the interest kind of leaves. So that's why I don't really talk about it that much because it's been so long ago. But yeah, I used to be a lot more involved in running that and trying to do that kind of thing. And it's a ton of work that you don't get really a lot of credit for. People just think you can just, oh, I'm gonna get this place over here and I'm gonna rent it and I'm gonna charge everybody $20 a table. Well, you got to get money from people. You got to get flyers made. You got to go out and shop your stuff around. But that was 15, 20 years ago. We didn't really have the Facebook presence and online presence. It was going to places with a flyer going, hey, come to the show. Hey, come to the show. Hey, come to the show. That kind of thing. So ultimately today we can go on lives like this and go, hey, come to the show, come to the show, come to the show. Where used to it'd be like you'd have to go to a meetup or a Hot Wheel show or whatever. Here's a flyer. Please come to our show. And hopefully they read it and they didn't just throw it in a box or something, and forget about it. So,
It's more personal and a little bit more effective, right?
yes, sir. And then y'all doing these shows, it gets everybody every week. I try to, if y'all come into my live enough, y'all know, I try to show the local Hot Wheel shows around here, or at least all the way down to Florida, that I can get information on because our diecast shows, toy shows, just because there's a lot of people that just don't search that kind of thing out.
Right.
So I just kind of like try to make it aware and try to, do that. So
and we benefit as well. I mean, we try to put out as much good information as we can for the community, but by virtue of being here and being on the pulse of it, we get, we filter in a lot of information as well. I learn stuff every day by being on our channel and all the other channels, and it's fun. And like you said, we stay, we maintain that connection.
Yeah.
Because it would be a waste. I mean, we really do have a really very cool community. And if we did not have the opportunity to stay connected with each other, whether it be through a virtual meetup like this or an actual meetup, it will still be cool because we still got the community is still there. Everyone's always willing to help each other out. But the fact that we can really kind of connect, we get the benefit of helping each other out and enjoying each other's company as well. Just want to welcome Roman into the chat. I mean, I just love Roman's comments, so I've been flashing all of his comments because he is gold. So I don't want to slight him. Just want to let him know that I think we're in like three or four different chats already today. Right? Wednesday is a very very busy day for live streams. We got SSK promos, Ken's live stream, and we stay pretty busy. I don't really get much done on a Wednesday because I'm in one live stream or after another. So pretty cool. That's cool, right, Jason? That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Cool. You watch any of my videos, you're gonna know it's cool.
Alex even commented that today on
and it's with love, of course. I kid Jason, and a lot of other people do. Like whenever we see Jason, say, "That's cool, because that's Jason's kind of catchphrase."
Exactly.
There's a question in the chat. Keith wants to know if you have a Discord server.
I do not. I really don't even know what that is. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not savvy about really any of this. I just do my YouTube and do that live, and that's I don't know. I don't even keep up with Instagram that much. Just
Well,
other people. pushing
I'm
me back
laughing.
and forth.
I'm
So,
laughing, and Mary knows why. I'm in the same boat with you, Jason. I could just make one suggestion: get yourself a Mary if you possibly can, because he
I have
fills
one
all the gaps. I
upstairs to
mean,
my wife,
Yeah.
but
yeah. I have no clue about any of that stuff. But Mary doesn't miss a beat, and the stuff
right.
just gets done. I go on our Facebook page every day, and it's like just witness stuff for the first time. I don't even know half of these events that are happening. Mary does all that. She digs in, she gets all the information, and she keeps everything very current in the posts. So I appreciate it for that.
Well, yeah, I've been tagging Jason a lot lately, and he's probably just like, "What do you want now?" You know?
I just, the truth is, I just don't know that aspect of. I just know that somebody sends me a direct message, I can answer them with a direct message. That's pretty much what I
Mhm.
use it for. And then I've got an email also that I use that for. And then people comment on my videos. It's easy for me to go in and do comments on the videos and over after the live streams and that kind of thing. So, no, not to slide anybody that's trying to get a hold of me, but if you get me on Instagram, it's easy, so I can just message you back. That's the easiest way. But as far as the Discord, I don't even really know what that is. So I've heard a lot of talks about Discords. Don't get me wrong, I just don't know what it is. So
Yeah, it's just like another opportunity for I don't know really the nuts and bolts of it either. I'm on a couple of them, but basically it's just another message stream where people with similar interests can get together. Like Keith is the administrator of a Discord service for the Flippin' Ain't Easy channel, and it's pretty cool because they're like you go on the Discord, it's free, anyone can join, and typically members of the Discord are followers of a particular show. Like I'm on the Trash to Cash Discord as well as a Flippin' Ain't Easy Discord, and you go in there and there's a directory. There's like 20 different topic areas. Like what who went picking this week, and any questions about things and events. And like I particularly monitor the get together and meetup section because I keep posted whatever meetups are going on. But people might have other interests, or may have questions, or may have some suggestions or whatever. So the Discord is just like a concentrated message boards that is free and anyone can, join in at any time. And Keith does a really good job in maintaining the Discord for the Flipping Ain't Easy channel. So maybe you might want to consult with him if you ever were interested, Jason.
yeah, I don't know how I can take much more on right now. I ain't gonna lie, it's just wide open.
And
If you
speaking
do
of Flipping
YouTube
Ain't
and the
Easy,
lives, it's just wide open. So
it's like I think we Beetlejuice Jenna in. We were talking about Flipping Ain't Easy,
Right.
and there she is. Hi, my dear. How are you?
Hey,
Jenna
Jenna.
is the better half of John from Flipping Ain't Easy. One of my favorite live shows. We had John and Jenna on our last live hangout a couple of weeks ago. What a great show that was. So welcome in, my dear. Nice to see you.
I just want to mention Goodwater Pickers was saying how it's kind of a no rules chat and chats that might get banned on Facebook. So he threw those in. I don't know much of anything about a Discord. I've never been a part of one either, Jason. So I totally get it. And I know you covered this earlier, but Roman did have a good question. He wanted to know about how many Hot Wheels you have. Roman, I think I read that right. You want to know how many he had. So if you could just kind of talk about that again.
roughly right now, I would say I hate to say the exact number because people be like, 30 to 35,000. I'd say now, somewhere around there is what I would guesstimate.
That is, yeah.
It's amazing, right?
That's some dedication to the collection.
And he's still buying them every week, right? Whenever you got the opportunity, you make more acquisitions.
Oh yeah, you can go to Walmart and there's something that I like, I'll pick it up, and you can go to Dollar Generals, Walmarts, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
So, but I usually try to stay more of the older stuff.
Has there been a resurgence in the interest and the quantity of Hot Wheels that are being produced these days? It seems like I've been seeing them. I mean, maybe I haven't really had an eye to look for them, but it seems like they're
Since
all over
the
lately.
I'm sorry, since the COVID, it's really exploded again. There was a big lull in the 2000s. It's kind of like the NASCAR. The NASCAR lull. I don't think it's slowly, believe it or not, the NASCAR stuff slowly is picking up in price. I never would have thought that again, but there was a lull. Same thing happened in NASCAR in the 2000s. It kind of went down, and the Hot Wheels did the same thing. Kind of got in that situation, which is great for a buyer, a collector. That's the time to get it, obviously. And now, literally, since the 2020 pandemic, everything is really blowed up, and it's like it feels like it was back in the 90s when everybody was really just
Yeah,
everywhere trying to pick.
big then. I remember that. Yeah,
You go to any Walmart and stand there more than 10 minutes at a Hot Wheels, you're going to see a couple of grown people coming in, looking. Even the younger generation are
yeah.
starting to, get into it more and more. So
It's a fun hobby. It's you just to be able to see all of those cars and like the imagination of some of the cars that they create, and you
yeah.
really get to see like some cars from way back, some futuristic cars, and comic strip cars and everything. Pretty cool.
My goal for my basement down here, of course, this is just a little glimpse of what I have. Obviously, I've got walls full, but my goal is I'm going to have, right now, I have every car on display from 1968, which is first year, to 1990. And my goal is to have everything basically like a museum, if you would say, so that when people come into my live, they can go, hey, what about this? And I can just physically go get it. We'll sit there and talk about it right then. And I want to make it to where I can move around in my basement. Right now, I'm kind of just into this corner. So ultimately, I just want to make it more like a museum where people can actually see some more of this stuff, because all you can see is this glimpse of whatever there is here. Maybe there's 15 to 2,000 cars here behind me. But ultimately, I'd like to have them all out to where people can go, hey, what about this? What about that? I can grab it right then. Makes it more personable, because right now a lot of times I have to write it down and then bring it out for the next week on the live. And if they can't get to the live that week, then maybe they didn't get the information they wanted. Because I'm more about mine more on my live. If y'all been to it, I'm more of giving information out. I'd like to give everybody information. There's a lot of newer people that's come into the hobby, and I like to give that information because it takes years to find out. A lot of times you have to go talk to these designers, these engineers, and go to the big conventions and stuff to learn a lot of the information over the years. And a lot of books you got to read and that kind of thing to find that stuff. So if I can give some information out, obviously that's what I want to do. So anyway.
Since you touched on NASCAR, I was a huge NASCAR fan for over 20 years, but about the past 10 plus, I've kind of fallen off. What do you think has caused this resurgence in NASCAR? And I wanted to ask you if you had a driver too.
The I'm going to tell you what I think it is. I know a lot of the shirts, because I sell a lot of the shirts. Is I believe that the younger generation now, their dad watched it, they know it, and they want to buy that shirt that their dad had. I believe because they're in their 30s now. 20 years ago, you think about when it was hot and big, Earnhardt and all those guys running. Those kids that were 8, 9 years old are 30 now, and they've got a disposable income. And I believe that's what resurged, that. I don't really know if it's the new NASCAR and a lot of the rules. I think it's more of I do better with the vintage stuff, the old, like there might be a big Dale Jr., a big Jeff Gordon, a big Dale Earnhardt fan. So they kind of just like, they want to get a few pieces to kind of remember maybe what their granddaddy or their dad was into. I think that's why, not more than anything. That's my opinion. But that's the way I kind of look at for reselling stuff. You got to start looking at what is 15 years old now. That's the stuff that's going to be hot in the next 5 years. That's the way you got to keep up with what's new, what's going to be hot, because those 20-year-old kids in the next 5 years are the ones that's going to have the disposable income and want to buy the stuff they had when they were a kid. If you're into the stuff that like I do, all the old toys and that kind of thing. Fortunately, right now, everything from the 80s and the 90s is super hot. I mean,
True.
you can sell anything from the 80s and 90s right now, and it just flies. And it's just the way it is. I think you got your 30 and 40-year-olds that's got disposable income, They want what they either didn't have when they was a kid and they really wanted, or they had it when they was a kid. They had a yard sale back in the day, and got rid of it, and now they want it back again. But as far as NASCAR, my guy was, just because he rode the 44, was Kyle Petty. Before that, Richard Petty's always going to be the king. So I'm a Richard Petty guy. I'm always going to be a Richard Petty guy. And then, of course, Kyle Petty, because he run the 44 car until, unfortunately, you know, Kyle, I mean, his son passed away on the 45 Sprint. Then he took over the 45 Sprint car. And so I just kind of, I did the Hot Wheel cars and I collected all those. I still have tons of that stuff, but I don't think that's ever going to resurge as much as the clothing. Now, the clothing is super hot, but as far as the Hot Wheel brand race car, I don't think it's going to be as hot as like your Earnhardts, your Gordons, your Billy Elliott's, those big known guys. But anyway, that's my spiel of what I think of why it's resurging some, is because you've got some disposable income on some younger kids that wants to remember their dad or their grandpa and what they got into.
That's a really good explanation. I will say Adam Petty was my favorite Bush guy. And that was really sad. I mean, he was so young.
Yeah.
I think when the chase started, that I didn't like that. I think that hurt it. And now I don't even understand the segments, but I do think the chase hurt it. Do you?
When they put everybody in the same car is what I think everybody just quit watching. Basically the same car with different stickers. I mean, everybody was restricted on the motor. I say if you can keep the car holding on the road, let them roll fast they want to go, and then people would be back into it again. Because you've got these 1,000 horsepower cars sitting on the road right now, like real drive cars. You can go get a Dodge Hellcat, the Red Eye or whatever, and it's running almost 800 horsepower on the road. So why not let them run 800, 900? I mean, they're pushing over 1,000, but they're restricted back. But anyway, sorry about that. Just that's the way I feel about it. And I just can't sit. I just don't sit and watch them because all the cars look the same. They're not like, and maybe if they went back to where they raced on the weekend and you could go buy them and still, 500 of them made, back in the day, that's where they used to be, where you could actually go buy a real car that they were racing. I know it ain't the exact car, but that kind of thing would resurge. And then take the restrictor plates off and let them, if they can get them tires to hold to the track, just go. That's my opinion. They've got enough safety now. You don't have to worry about that part, I feel. But
let me just interrupt to acknowledge the chat for a moment. Catch up here. Since I welcome people last, Tina with the Lake Exchange has come in. Welcome, Tina, and Upstate Picker. And Roman had a question for you about red lines. Let me see. There it is. Do you have any valuable red lines that you want to keep and not sell?
Yeah, tons of them. I got a lot right back here. I've got some pretty rare ones back here. I mean, literally, I've got a whole wall. I can spin it around over here. I've got another whole wall over here of just glass with all red lines.
Wow.
So
it's quite a collection.
Oh, that's awesome.
And a couple of comments in the chat.
Did I drop out? I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh no, but as far as I've got some pretty expensive stuff. I've got probably a couple of the rarest ones will be this one here and this one here. I'm not planning on ever selling these two if I can help. And both of these are prototypes. So prototype stuff, you know how it goes. Pre-production stuff, one of a kind, one in the world, whatever you want to call it. Most of it is, and there might be 3 or 4 in the world, whatever. But stuff like that, I wouldn't want to sell. I just take that to the conventions to show newer collectors and that kind of thing, because a lot of times you don't get a chance to see the stuff like that. So that's why when I go to the nationals, I try to bring a lot of this kind of stuff, because, like I said, the newer collectors want to see this stuff, and even the older collectors want to see it. A lot of them want to buy it, but it's like it takes too much. It took me a lot of years to accumulate that to be able just to show this one case. It took 30 years to get that one case together.
Yeah.
It's a patient hobby, that's for sure.
Yeah, you know where you know where there's like 5 that exist. You know where like 3 or 4 of them are, and everybody that has it don't want to sell it. But if they do get ready to sell it, there's already a line of people, and that's the way it was with a lot of my cars. I've got a list of, if you want to sell this car, I've already got a name and a number next to it, and that's just the way it is with the hobby, with the rare stuff.
Yeah.
What I call the rare stuff. A lot of people say rare on internet, but the rare stuff.
Yeah, really rare.
There's real rare, ultra rare, whatever you want to call it. So yeah.
Yeah, Tina, that's what it seems like to me also, although I've never followed that. And
well, I agree with that too, the indie racing stuff, because they can do as fast as they want to go. If you can hold it to the road, some of those guys are hitting almost 300 now.
Oh my gosh, I knew they were going over 200.
And if you ever watch them on YouTube when they have a GoPro or something strapped to them, it's crazy. I don't know how they even, all the different turns and twists and stuff. Yeah, Chris used to be big into the NASCAR stuff too. That's what he was just talking about. I never was big into NASCAR, but I had buddies that was. I watched it some, but like I said, my driver was Kyle. He wasn't winning nothing, but he was just running the 44 car. He was doing better in the mellow yellow car. I put it that way.
Well, even his dad said it skipped a generation. It's like, oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Because I think Adam would have been great. And Chris, I agree. I knew the numbers, the drivers, the owners, the sponsors, I watched Shade Tree Mechanic. I watched the pre-shows. I watched post-shows. I watched the practice. I watched the qualifying, everything. I'm like you with your Hot Wheels, Jason. It's like, I wasn't just into it. I was like obsessed with it.
It was like you was part of it. Even though you might not have been part of it, you felt like you was part of it.
Right.
I think a lot of people get with a certain thing, kind of way my Hot Wheels are. I feel like I'm part of it, even though I may not be part of it. But I want to get to go to the nationals and stuff and talk to the designers and all the people. Then you feel like you're part of it because you can give your input, or you can take your stuff that's rare and say, "Hey, this is what's what," So you just feel like you're part of it.
If I can interrupt one more time, we have two notables in the chat. Todd just joined us, Silver Hair Stapler. And where is she? Do I lose her? Mom's here. Welcome in, Mom. It was a pleasure. And I'm sorry, I hate to keep on interrupting. I got to figure out a better way to manipulate the chat. That's a bad word, manipulate, but you know what I mean. To introduce the people in the chat. Because it's just about, because it's just as much for the chat as it is for the guests. I don't want to, misrespect our guests, of course, or Mary, but I don't want to neglect the reason why we're here, pretty much, for our people.
Yeah, that's why it's nice to have both of us, because I obviously can't I can't really interact with the chat like you can, Mike, with
right.
Yeah,
actually, and Keith had made a good point. I really don't know how to do it. We'll probably figure it out, but he recommended, creating some mods. Not that we have an unruly chat here, but the mods can put up links and whatever. And of course, I would make you a mod, Mary, and then you could, I guess, I don't even know how that works. You could do some things with the chat as well, or answer questions or whatever. So we will try to figure that out. Yes, Todd, I agree. Everyone's here just to see Mary. I brought Mary on. This isn't true, but I'll say it like it is. I brought Mary on pretty much as eye candy. You know what I mean? Something nice to look at besides my funny mug. But she was
not have chosen me. Right?
So much more than that. No, of course. No, I was just had an affinity for Mary right away. We had known each other before 127 in the chats, and then we kind of got to know each other a little bit. And fast friends, hooked up really nice, as really close friends, and I said, definitely be an asset to have her in as part of the Mike Metco team. And I never look back, no regrets at all.
I did notice that Andrew and Chris were still talking a little NASCAR. It's been a long time since I've I've watched it, so it's just kind of cool to go down memory lane with you guys. So I know I got off topic a little bit, but you guys, if you ever want to chat it, I can chat about the old days. I mean, I still, well, heck, I'm like you, Chris. I can't really tell you who's racing now, but I can tell you who was in the 22 back in 1995. That was Ward Burton. I mean, I can tell you, I can tell you all the guys back then. But yeah, I'm lost now. It was, thank you, Todd. You too. It was great meeting you.
Thanks, Andrew. Nice of you to say.
No,
I got confidence. I play myself down, but I just always want to emphasize what an asset Mary is. So I will, put myself aside to pump up Mary all the time. She's great.
No, you do awesome. Hey, and Roman, we're getting it now. Roman I was warning me about the weather earlier, which Roman, I appreciate that. I did see it. My phone's been going off all day, but yeah, I hear it out there now. Like, oh,
You better not. I like you, Todd. No one's stealing Mary from me, that's for sure.
Yeah, Todd, I've been kind of silently watching. I just found out like last week that you have a channel. I felt terrible. So I've been silently watching some of the lives. But yeah, if does anybody else have any questions for Jason? Because I asked him all of mine and more. So
yeah, if anyone does have any questions, now's the time to put them in the chat while we still have Jason's attention. Otherwise, man, we're at an hour. We could probably start wrapping it up pretty soon anyway. We'll just make one more opportunity for Jason to promote everything that he does, and we'll just mention quickly the meetups that are coming up.
So if y'all want to check out the channel, it's Lux Garage over on YouTube. I do a live every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, and it's mostly talking toys and diecast Hot Wheels there, but we do talk real cars, and we get off on the subject of movies and everything else. But and I'm open to talk about whatever, because I'd also talk about real cars on there and stuff. Talk about experiences over the years, and like I said, we do that every Tuesday. And then I try to put out my show every Thursday, like a video, and most of my videos are close to an hour long. I know that's a lot for a lot of people to watch, but I found out that there's a lot of people that's like, they don't know what to watch, so they just rather put something on and watch it for, a good amount of time. And most of us listening and stuff, we just want something on in the background that you can listen to and glance up at every now and then, or at least that's the way I feel about it. And I'll tell you right now, if anybody's going to be around the Crossville area during the 127, let me know. I'd like to go out and pick sometime. Speaking of, Andrew, if you're going to be up around that area and your wife, y'all want to go out one day, let me know. I'm pretty wide open on any day that week. I'll be always picking that. Not to try to do that, but anyway, just saying, if anybody's going to be at the 127 around the Tennessee Crossville area, let me know if they want to go out and hang out one day, maybe do some picking. I got a chance to do some picking with Mike one day. I didn't get a chance to pick with Mary, I don't believe, but I did get a chance to pick with Mike, and that was a good time. But yeah, if y'all want to check out the channel, you can. It's mostly just people ask me a question, I'll try to answer it about mostly Hot Wheels and older toys and diecast, that kind of thing. But anyway, I started out as a reseller channel way back in the wind, and I realized quickly, if you watch the little YouTube things, that nobody really watched the what sold stuff. So I kind of went away from that and just kind of started doing what I was picking up. And it seemed like people was more interested in what I was buying than what I was selling. So
did you see Andrew's video request when Mike?
I did. I don't think I did. I'm sorry.
Put that back up. Where is it?
He
was asking to do an errors, how-to errors. Here it is.
Yeah.
This is the video of Jason hunting for errors in a store.
Oh, I'll tell you how I hunt errors in a store. I can do a video on it too, but what you do is you go in there and you pull all the cars that are the same out. You're going to be flipping through them anyway. If you notice there's 4 or 5 of the same car, you pull them out and look at them all together. It's real quick and easy. the difference between me and a lot of people is I'm colorblind, so a lot of things pop out to me where a lot of people don't see it right.
It froze up.
Maybe he'll
Jason
come right
just
back.
yeah.
So anyway, that's I don't know what happened, but that's
We missed about 30 seconds. Can you go over that again?
Oh, I'm sorry. Where was we at? Where was?
You're saying you're comparing them?
Oh yeah.
You were colorblind.
If you
which
pull
I
them
found
off,
amazing.
if there's 4 or 5, say there's 4 or 5 of the same car, you know, if you're going to dump bin or whatever, you can pull them out. You're looking through them anyway. You can kind of just stack them up, lay them out, and just kind of compare them real quick. That's the easiest way to look at them. And I was just saying that I'm colorblind, so it's a little different for me. So arrows really pop out at me for some reason, and I can just spot one just by glancing over a table. I can be like, oh, that's. But I have looked at them enough to kind of know, hey, this is not right. This is not right. This is not right. That kind of thing. But I can do another video on it. I did do a video on it, Andrew, of rating the errors on like the rarest errors all the way down to the most common errors. Just stuff like that. I've got some pretty rare errors in the last little bit. I was going to try to find one and I'll show you something really cool real quick. I know I hadn't done a video on this one yet, but everybody can spot this error. There's no
car,
no bottom, no interior, no nothing. It's just a car.
just to
a
show
body.
you.
And I haven't done the video yet on those. Those will be coming out next couple weeks or stuff. I'm big into arrows, by the way. I do still collect arrows. I've probably got 6,000 or 7,000 arrows. I've collected those since I started collecting Hot Wheels. So,
So the niche within the niche. Derek asked, just mention the name of your channel so we can find you.
Lux Garage. You're looking for this wild, crazy guy right here. It's Lux Garage, LUCKGARAGE, all one word.
And look who's just
Woody's in the chat.
What's
up, Woody?
Hey, Woody.
Missed you last night, Woody.
Yeah, another person that we all met. I really can't emphasize enough what a great week that was. I mean, I made so many long-lasting friendships that one week of the 127. You know, Mary and Jason and Ben and Alex I met for the first time, and Chris I met for the first time. I had met Shane once before, but we really didn't have the opportunity to like get together. And Woody, and it was just really...
She's in the chat. We met her.
Yeah, definitely, sure. And who else? Let me see. Let me just.
Did you say Chris?
Yep.
And Andrew. Yep. Karen.
Oh, there's B.
Yep.
Robert.
What's up, B?
Woody's better half. Everyone's saying hi to Bob.
Yeah, if anybody's got any questions about anything diecast and Hot Wheel related, they can just Instagram me, or they can come on any of the videos and just put a question, or come in live and put a question. It don't matter. I'll try my best to answer it, or I'll try to find out the information you want. May not be what you want, but I can try to find it out.
No, I can vouch for Jason. He's very accommodating, very helpful. I mean, he really, like I said at the beginning of the live stream, he just really was there to serve us and really just to be helpful. You know, very selflessly helpful to all of that, and I really respect that. And I got to just share this first meeting encounter. It's one of my favorite stories about Jason when I first met him. Now he showed up at the Airbnb. And he came bearing gifts. He had presents for everybody, and they weren't just like presents you get at the airport gift shop. I mean, these were all presents that were all like specific and thoughtful to everyone. Now, we had never met. I don't even know if he knew I was going to be there, but he felt so bad he didn't have a gift for me. I said, Jason, are you kidding? You don't even know me. You know, how could you even expect to have a gift?
Well, at least get a piece of the pie.
Yeah, no, I did get a piece of the pie.
There you go.
His wife made 2 pies, 2 chocolate pies, right?
Yeah, my wife made the chocolate pies. So.
And we enjoyed those. But it was just so cool that he thought enough to like even mention, to apologize unnecessarily for not having a gift for me. But like just hanging out with him for that whole week was gift enough, because I learned a lot and really have a lot of respect for you, Jason. You know, you're really cool dude. Definitely cool dude. No doubt.
And
So Derek just subbed. Okay, you got another sub there, Jason. Very
Awesome.
good.
good.
Yeah, don't
Yeah, if
forget
you're just
to subscribe and sub for that. Hey, a new latecomer. There's GI Joe.
what's up, Joe?
Hi, Joe. How are you? Met Joe at that same meetup as well.
Yep.
That was really
My
cool.
son. Hey, Joe. And Roman has a question. What are the most rare Hot Wheels to look for?
Most people are going to say red lines. Obviously, red lines are pretty rare. You're going to be looking for, well, without getting specific, just look for red lines and in good shape. Literally, we're putting a beater collection together, and if they're beat up and stuff, you can literally afford them. I'm right now. We've got 6 into the 12, and I'm only like 30. I think $38.50 into 6 of them of the first 12 that or 16 that were made. So realistically, if you're looking for Hot Wheels, look for great shape and red lines, obviously. But then real riders, they would be like. Let me grab a real rider. I think I've got one sitting here. Yeah, real riders are also something fun to look for. They've got real rider tires. They say Goodyear on them, and they've actually got real rubber tires. These come out in the 80s. Those are also good. Now, this one you probably won't find because this was a Mexico exclusive. It's pretty rare. But real riders is another thing you can look for. Uh, black walls are really starting to come up, and basically a black wall is the same thing as a red line, but you don't have the red line around the tire. But it's all about the shape. I'm telling you, it all comes back to the shape. So just like any collectible, the better shape it is, the more it's going to be worth.
And then Todd had, let me see, it was up on the, oh, are red lines the be all end all collectible Hot Wheels? You might have kind of
No.
touched on that, but okay.
Black walls are basically what I call the new red lines. It's kind of like touch on what we talked about earlier. My age played with black walls. We didn't play with the red lines. So we have disposable income. The red lines are a great thing to have and whatever, but I've seen a real big the prices of black walls have really doubled and tripled in the last few years because you've got my age with disposable income that wants to buy the cars they had when I was a kid. So the
Right.
black wall stuff is really coming in its own. So no, they're not the the pinnacle. What you're going to see is kind of like with real cars. I don't know if any of y'all keep up with real cars. A '57 Chevy 5 years ago, two door hardtop Bel Air would be almost 100 grand. Now you can pick one up for around 40 because the generation has moved on. Your newer generation are looking for those 80s. Like my son, we just redone a square body 83. All the square body trucks are super hot. I've got a Trans Am. All the Bandit stuff is super hot. The 70s and 80s cars, super hot. And now the 90s stuff is really starting to climb. Kind of goes back to anything that you're reselling. I feel like if you can keep a pulse on what was popular 15 years ago and pick that stuff up and have it the next year or two, you're going to really start bringing some money in. So that's kind of what I've always done is try to buy stuff that's 15 to 20 years old, and you're going to see that stuff become double and triple in
Yeah.
value the next few years.
Everything cycles, right?
Yes. And the old stuff, like I said, unfortunately, a lot of the older stuff, there's going to be the pinnacle stuff always, but it's your interest, I believe, on your newer people collecting, it slowly goes down because as people get older, they've got enough. It's like, when do you say you got enough Hot Wheels? If I was 20 years from now where I'm looking at what I've got now, I might say I have enough and then slowly stop. And then the next generation is probably collecting the stuff that was popular in the 90s.
True.
So that's kind of what you got to, that's the way I kind of feel about as far as the red lines go. Red lines are great, but I've seen the prices kind of slowly start and then the Blackwall stuff starting to really take off. So,
Okay. Okay. So it's going through the cycle.
Cycles, yeah,
yeah,
cycles.
yeah. And that's with every aspect of toys, collectibles, even, vinyl albums and stuff, the jazz stuff and stuff that used to bring money it don't seem like it's bringing anything like the rock stuff from the 70s and 80s and 90s, and anyway, that's just
Mhm.
cassette tapes are really taking off. At least they have for me. Every cassette tape I've listed just about I've sold.
Oh,
So
Yeah, it's interesting. It's important to check for trends in everything that we resell because if you kind of get an idea of what's happening, you could
Yeah.
stock up for it and maybe pull out of your old death pile stuff. Because I got stuff that I ain't even going to think about listing because it's not hot right now. But 5 years from now, like you says, it might make a turnaround, and there you go. We got that built-in inventory and put it up there and sell it. So it's like there's a whole science to selling, as we all know. And if you're a
Yeah.
little savvy about looking for what's coming up in the future, it
Get
can
any
still grow.
small CRT TVs cheap at yard sales and stuff with
Right.
the front inputs. Pick them up. I'm telling you, that's a lot of people want that they played with when I was a kid instead of just being on a flat screen and having to go through all the different stuff. They still want that feel of being when they were a kid. The way I kind of look at it. So
And something I just learned about, you mentioned the CRTs that I wasn't ever aware of. Like CRTs provide something that the flat screens can't do. I mean, they interact with like some of the video games, video
yeah,
games,
yeah,
the guns and the streams of light and everything, and that's not going to work with a
right.
new flat screen. So you could have like a $20,000 flat screen TV, and it's worthless when if it comes to like if you want to play video games on it. So the
Right. So,
CRTs are of a value. Definitely have a value to them. No
well,
doubt.
they're made for, I guess, the smallness because a lot of people are running 55, 75, 85-inch TVs. You can't play a video game without sitting in the next room because you
Yeah,
need a whole field of play.
right. It's
And
true.
and you still don't get that same feeling as you did when you was a kid because you played it on a CRT when you was a
Correct.
kid.
Yeah, it's true.
And
Yeah,
so I've been picking up a few CRTs here and there, especially if you can get the ones with remotes and everything, if they work. DVD players or the tape players on the front, very popular. VHS stuff's really come on strong. I've been selling a lot of VHS lately. People have really just resurged on VHS and the tapes and that kind of thing. They just want. I bought one of these just put up on the shelf this weekend just because I thought it was awesome. You remember the old Walkmans and stuff, that kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I definitely remember. I'm old enough that it was Atari. Okay, so it was a TV about this big in our family room, and yeah, Space Invaders on
I
the.
played the 2600 many a times. Pong, Space Invaders. That's what I had. That's what we played when I was growing up. We had the CRT stuff. You can buy them at yard sales. Usually they're giving them away. They're less than $5 if you can get them to plug it in and see it come on.
sure.
Like Chris says, you can get $100 plus a piece on them, especially like if you can get some of the last ones that were made that was actually they're CRTs, but they're flat screen
Kind of
with
flat
the
CRTs. Yeah.
player. They run in like $150, $200 now for some of those.
Oh, yeah.
And
Jeez.
even the gimmicky ones, like I've got a Cars TV that I had in my son's room when he was born. We did his room in Cars, but all those kind of TVs now are bringing a couple $100 for the little 13-inch, like the Cars, SpongeBob. There's the gimmicky TVs, the TVs that are clear. I don't know if y'all remember the clear TVs in the '80s and the telephones. All that stuff is coming up and going strong. So that's what I gotta say.
You never know. It's a funny business, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
you got to
why.
keep like I said, you got to keep your finger on that pulse of what
Yeah.
everybody's kind of trending toward.
Yeah, and that's why, like I mean, I make the point that a big importance of what we do is the community. But I started off watching YouTube channels before I even knew that there was a community, just for the education. So that you can really learn a lot. When I first started reselling, I had no clue, and I used to immerse myself in YouTube content, and I learned a lot, right off the bat. So that's where else are you going to learn about it? So definitely
It's
helps.
funny. It's funny you say that because I didn't know that YouTube was made for anything other than fixing cars until I started my own YouTube channel. Pretty much, my dad was telling me he watches a couple of people, and I'm like, I never watch it for anything other than to help fix my car or something. So he's like, you've got enough stuff, and you've got enough stuff. You've got enough stuff. You're going to slowly start going through it. You might as well do a channel because he sees people doing it all the time. And he's like, you've got as much stuff as they got, and you've got as much knowledge as a lot of these people got. You might as well do a channel on it. So that's why I
Yeah,
started a channel to begin with, just to document some of the stuff I've had, which you can't keep it all, even though I try. You
Yeah,
can't keep it all, and it's fun to look back on that stuff and say, "Oh, I used to have that. I remember that now." So anyway,
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of people come in. Hey, what's up, Alex?
yeah. Alex just joined the party. Be late. That's all right. Better late than
Oh,
never.
good.
And with some of the bigger stuff like TVs, like Chris Easy Pickens was saying, if you sell it on Marketplace, you don't have to worry about shipping it. So if you have room for that kind of stuff, then yeah, that's perfect.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to go over like one of the monster ones. You want to stay in that. I believe everything right now is like anything under 20 inch or so. It's really popular.
Oh wow, okay.
Plus, it's easier for you to move around.
Right. Yeah, don't take as much space. Oh, and they're heavy. Yeah. Yeah, right. Oh.
Yeah, and they're heavy.
So anything else? Let's make a last call for anyone who might want to say something in the chat. And then in the meantime, think of your question. Just make one more little quick commercial for the meetups coming up, just briefly, because Alex is here. We want to make sure that we remember to mention the East Tennessee meetup coming up in September. Go on the We Saw a Locker Room Facebook page or on our Facebook page for information. And if you happen to be in the Las Vegas area in August, whether you're going to the eBay Open or you just happen to be there, I want to stop by. I'm going to sponsor a little meetup on the 15th and 16th of August. I'm going to get a hold of Archie, my buddy, and organize something, a couple of day meetup. Nothing elaborate, just to be able to get together with all my Vegas peeps. And that's about it as far as things on the horizon for now. Let's just check the chat one last time.
Yeah. Time for breakfast, huh?
Yeah, Keith is a trooper, boy. I tell you, he shows up, and he's 8-hour difference, right? So figure as late as he gets here, he's 8 hours later, and he's still always the first to the party.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see Alex.
Alex might go. That's good.
I'm thinking about going myself, Alex. I don't know.
I hope Alex goes.
Thank you again for sponsoring that, Jason. That's awesome, and we'll all look forward to seeing you there.
Yep. No doubt.
It's going to be a good time, I'm sure.
Oh, I think so. I mean, I have high hopes for it. First of all, like the response was like phenomenal. I mean, like we had, we were like organizing in like 4 or 5 days only, and we had like people coming out of the woodworks to join in, and we kind of fashioned it, modeled it a lot after Nashville in a lot of ways, it being free and some of the same activities and all. And what I did was I did get a hold of Ray and asked him to like just give me some information. And Ray the Nashville Picker who hosted the Nashville meetup, and he was really invaluable asset to help out. And he ended up giving us 2 anchor sponsorships as well, which I wasn't soliciting. I was asking him just for some assistance and information, but he did both. A great guy. And the Nashville, for those of you at the Nashville meetup, wow, that was phenomenal. And the meetup that the locker room guys are organizing is like kind of following in their footsteps. I mean, it's going to really be a good meetup. I can only imagine what it's going to look like next year. We're going to have to, rent out like a big amphitheater or something to accommodate everyone. We might end up like Nashville meetup on the second year with 250 people. I think so. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Okay, let's see. All right, there's no other questions. We're starting to drop a little bit in the viewer count. So I just want to, first of all, thank Jason for coming in and sharing with us some of his experiences and some of his expertise and his information, and just great. Every time I get a chance to hang out with Jason, I'm happy because we really are a very cool dude, man. I really mean that from the heart.
Appreciate it. Thank
And
y'all.
thank everyone who came tonight to hang out. We
Yep.
really appreciate that, because without you guys, we're just three people talking to each other, and we could do that backstage. The three of us got together a half an hour before the show and just chatted, and that was cool. That was fine. But then we come live, and you guys all enhance it that much more. That much. I really appreciate it. So
Yeah, thank you for joining us, Jason, and thank you, chat, for hanging out.
all right, just one final question. Alex didn't get a chance to chime in.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the next level after that's cool?
That's all.
That's all.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I'm telling you, you'll see if you watch my videos, I'll be like, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. And then I'll say, that's awesome. It's something that's above cool
everybody
level, which is probably a keeper.
All right. So with that, I want to thank you all once again. And we are, programming note, right? Mary, what's up next? We have another show coming up. This will be a pre-recorded. We're going to record it tomorrow, right? And it will probably wait a few days to launch it, but we're going to be interviewing Kat the Nurse Flipper and possibly her live reselling partner, the reselling live podcast partner, Rod, Picking and Punching. So it's definitely going to be Mary, but hopefully we can get Rod on board as well. He's kind of been busy lately promoting the new live
Rod,
channel
down in Florida not too long ago at the Webster Flea Market.
Oh, did you? Yeah, he's a good guy.
He was a great guy.
Definitely a good guy. Yep.
I'm going to reach out if I ever had any questions about some of my social media stuff, because he knows I told him I'm not into it. Now, I'd met him when I first started my YouTube channel. I met him, Kevin, and Mike. Oh, they were on a trip to Peaches to Beaches or something. And I met them. And I didn't even know how to do Instagram. So Mike took my phone and done my Instagram for me so we could take a picture together. And then, like I said, I run into him at the Webster at Memorial Day, and we talked for a little while. Great guy.
He really is. He'll help anybody at any time.
Yeah.
Drop everything for you. Really great guy, Rod.
Oh, awesome. And we're going to be on the Resellers Locker Room podcast. Well, I guess it would be the recording of the podcast. We'll be on live on the 24th.
Oh, okay, that's true.
On their channel.
Yeah. And then also we'll be with them there. Just one more little quick plug for the meetup. The meetup is kind of centering around their 100th recording, their 100th episode, and that's going to fall right during the meetup, for the day before the meetup, that Thursday, I believe. They'll do a live from the meetup grounds, because we'll all be there, in anticipation of the meetup. So Mary and I and the complete Reseller Locker Room crew, and Archie Biscuit Butt, who's a Reseller Locker Room alum, will all be in town. So we'll have a pretty cool live stream that night. I'm sure. Looking forward to that. That'll be the day before the meetup in September.
Yes, that'll be fun.
I need it.
It's Alex's retirement party.
That's it. Alex says that after he's been with Ben from day one. So he says at episode 100, he's looking for other employment at this point. Don't go anywhere, Alex. You make that show, man. Definitely make that show. All right. Okay. So I guess unless I rip the Band-Aid off, we're not going to end this thing, right?
Yeah, thanks everybody
for coming. Thanks for
Great
coming.
time. I appreciate y'all having me come on.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Bye.